fundamental element. It's the most basic. It only has one dimension. It goes from one place to another. A line is a point moving in space, so if you drop your pencil on your paper and move your pencil, you have a line. It has one dimension, which is length. And in most visual art forms, line is used to define the outside of objects. So if I said, hey, draw me an apple, you would most likely use a line to draw the outside of the apple. In photography, as we are not actually creating new things, but capturing things that already exist, we use line as a tool, a really powerful tool, in fact, to guide our viewer through the image. So, a couple of vocabulary words. Real line. Real line is a line that is actually there. You might say, oh, but Miss TV, isn't every line actually there? Well, no, and I will get to that. But a real line is a line that's actually there. So the edge of something. If you drew a line in your notebook, that would be a real line. A telephone pole is a real line, or a spoke on a bicycle wheel. So here are some examples of real line. All real, all actually exist. The other kind of line there in this category is implied. So a line is either real or it is implied. Implied lines are when our brain forms a line. So our mind is saying, oh, there's a line there, but it doesn't actually exist. That will happen for a couple reasons. Maybe movement. So this dude is running across the image and he's going from right to left. So we have that implied line of motion. You can also have, there are very frequently implied lines due to the arrangement of elements or objects. So we have the implied line of the arrangement of the birds. We also have the implied line of their motion. Now, so all lines are either real or implied. All lines are also either geometric or organic. Geometric lines are straight lines. They're math lines. They could be made with a ruler. Typically, geometric lines are person-made. They tend to make an image feel more constrained, so it's more predictable. If a line is perfectly straight, we can imagine, even when it goes off the screen or off of the picture plane, where it would continue. I think of them as math lines or maybe made with a ruler. If a line isn't straight, it's organic. So organic lines are curvy lines, free-flowing. They're going to make your image feel more natural and less predictable. So there are often organic lines in nature, although right now, if you just drew a squiggly line in your notebook, that too would be an organic line. Now, all lines, whether real or implied, or geometric or organic, have a direction. And what's so super rad about being a photographer is you as the photographer have complete control over the direction of the lines that you capture. So if you found horizontal lines, but you want to make them diagonal, change your point of view. Horizontal lines, these are our most boring lines. They are quiet. They run side to side of your picture plane. The reason they're the most boring and least energetic is if I were laying in a horizontal line on the floor, you could shove me or roll me over, but I would still be horizontal. So I just don't have that much energy when I'm a horizontal line. They can be a little bit boring, so break them up. I actually love this picture on the top. There are definitely those very strong horizontal geometric lines of like the balconies, but broken up by those little dark vertical organic lines of the hanging laundry. I just think that's really sort of sweet. Lines that go up and down are called vertical. So these are going to be top to bottom of your picture plane. Again, when we're thinking about directional lines, you want to think about them in terms of the picture plane, the rectangle that your picture is on. Vertical lines are more energetic. They represent growth. And the reason they're more energetic is if I were standing in a vertical line, you could push me and I might fall over. Most things that are vertical either grew or were built that way. And the bad boy of the line world would be diagonal lines. This would be a line set at an angle to the picture plane. So you as the photographer, these have the most energy. If I was diagonal, that would mean that I would be falling over. So there's a lot of energy to diagonal lines. And you as the photographer can make any line diagonal just by shifting your point of view. So especially when lines come together, diagonal lines, these are diagonal leading lines, and they're pulling our eye through. We'll talk about those later in the trimester. But any line can become diagonal depending on your point of view. So that is line.